There are only 4 races left in NASCAR's regular season. 4 drivers are within 20 points of the regular season points lead. That's right, 2 stages in a single race could completely change who wins the regular season championship, and more importantly, who gets the 15 playoff points going into the playoffs. In this video, we are going to talk about those 4 drivers, the situations there in their seasons, but we're also going to talk about the past regular season champions and the success they had or didn't have in the NASCAR playoffs. Starting off with 2017, the first year that the regular season championship was introduced. This was the first year that they introduced the new playoff format that had the playoff points that carried round to round. Going into the regular season finale, Martin Truex Jr. had 1,000 points through 25 races, a 107-point lead over Kyle Larson, so he had already locked up the regular season championship before even running at Richmond. And it's a good thing he had it locked up because Kyle Larson won the regular season finale at Richmond after Truex Jr. lost the race from the lead on a final restart after getting wrecked out. Truex still ended up with a 95-point lead over Kyle Larson, and he would go on to win the championship, being the first driver to win the regular season championship and the playoff championship in the same season. Truex was dominant the whole season. He would have led the season-long points by over 167 over Kyle Busch. No one really had a chance at taking the 78 that season. Moving on to 2018, going into the regular season finale, Kyle Busch better regular season than Martin Truex Jr. in 2017, but he was only 39 points up on Kevin Harvick, so theoretically Harvick could have beaten him for the regular season championship. In the end, Kyle Busch actually gained 2 points on Kevin Harvick, finishing 41 points ahead of him for the regular season championship. Kyle Busch would go on to finish 4th in the points, made the final 4, but did not win the championship. Who stole it? Joey Logano. Logano was 224 points back of the points lead at the time of the reset. That was good for 5th in the points. Logano coming in and breaking up the Big 3 and Me. In a season-long points format, Kyle Busch would have won the championship this year. Logano would have finished 4th, 187 points back of Kyle Busch, so over 3 full races if Logano had swept both stages and won the race. Some familiar faces in 2019, Kyle Busch had clinched the championship going into the regular season finale, 983 points, 64 up on Joey Logano in the 22 car. And it's a good thing he had this locked up because Busch ended up blowing his engine just 87 laps into this race. Logano finished 2nd, winning a stage, so he was only 17 points back of Kyle Busch at the time of the reset. None of that mattered though. Kyle Busch would take those 15 playoff points and go on to win his 2nd career NASCAR Cup Series championship. For the 2nd year in a row, Busch scored the most points through the duration of the season, but was just 2 points ahead of Kevin Harvick. Logano was 9 behind him in 3rd place, so very tight battle there in 2019. Into 2020, the most dominant season we have seen yet. Kevin Harvick going into the regular season finale, 1,041 points. He was 134 up on Denny Hamlin, so 2 full races going into the regular season finale. Harvick would hold a 115-point lead on Hamlin, but he would not go on to win the championship, finishing 5th in the points with a round of 8 exit. Harvick led the season-long points, up 91 points on Denny Hamlin at the end of the season, so who took the championship from him? Chase Elliott, the number 9, winning his first and only to-date NASCAR Cup Series championship. At the time of the reset, he was 7th in points, 214 back of Kevin Harvick. At the end of the season, 136 back, so definitely clawed back in the final 10 races of the season, but was still a bit behind Kevin Harvick. Nonetheless, Chase Elliott was the champion that year. To 2021 now, a lot of people remember the Kyle Larson dominance that season. Going into the regular season finale, Denny Hamlin only 28 points behind him, so a very close battle going into the final race. Hamlin would gain 10 points to finish 18 back, Kyle Larson holding off and winning the regular season championship. Won 5 of the races in the playoffs, no one had anything for that 5 car when it mattered. Season-long points, Larson would have been up 36 on runner-up Denny Hamlin. 2022, the first season of NASCAR's next-gen car going into the regular season finale. Chase Elliott with over a 2-race lead on Kyle Larson, 922 points for him, 134 up on Kyle Larson. I think the winless streak made people forget how dominant the 9 car was to start off the next-gen era. With the regular season championship clinched well in advance, Chase Elliott had a good playoff run, making the final 4 but did not end up winning the championship this season. Who did? Joey Logano. Logano actually passed Kyle Larson in the regular season finale for 2nd in points. He ended up 130 back of Chase Elliott. Counting season-long points, Joey Logano finished 3rd in points, 67 behind Chase Elliott, and just 6 behind teammate Ryan Blaney for 2nd. Elliott had a dominant regular season. Logano closed the gap in the playoffs. 22 ended up being the champion. Moving to 2023 now, Martin Truex Jr. back here again, this time with Joe Gibbs Racing instead of Furniture Row Racing. 861 points, but Denny Hamlin had a chance of taking it from him, 38 points behind him going into the regular season finale. Truex ended up holding on, winning the regular season championship by 47 points over Denny Hamlin, but had a disastrous playoffs, pretty much only even made it into the round of 8 due to the playoff points that he accumulated through the regular season, ended up finishing 11th by the time the season was over. So who took the championship from him? Ryan Blaney, giving back-to-back championships to Team Penske. Blaney at the time of the reset was 13th, 189 points back of the points leader. That's a little bit misleading going into the regular season finale at Daytona. Blaney was 9th in points, but he was just 3 points behind 6th place. 6th through 14th was very, very close this season. In the season-long points format, Ryan Blaney would have finished 131 points back in 6th position to points leader William Byron. And just last year, 2024, going into the regular season finale, we had 3 cars who could have possibly won it. Tyler Reddick, the points leader, at 823 points. Kyle Larson in the 5, 17 points back, and then 1 point behind him, his teammate Chase Elliott. Reddick would hold on at Darlington to win the regular season championship by just 1 point over Kyle Larson. He used those points for good, ended up making the final 4, finishing in 4th position. Who did he lose it to? For the 3rd time showing up on this list, Joey Logano in the 22 car. At the time of the reset, Joey Logano was 15th in points, 245 back of points leader Tyler Reddick. Chris Buescher, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain all finished ahead of Joey Logano in points, but missed the playoffs due to not having a win. And the numbers don't get any better. In the season-long points, Logano would have finished in 12th, 273 points behind Kyle Larson, so he even got outscored in the final 10 races. So for a quick overview, in the 8 years that we have given out a regular season championship award, 3 of them have gone on to win the championship, 5 have not. All 5 that didn't win the championship at least made it to the round of 8 thanks to the bonus playoff points. 3 of those 5 making it into the final 4. So if you win the regular season championship, you have a 75% or 6 out of 8 chance of making it into the final 4. That is a pretty good odd. One other thing I wanted to point out, all 3 drivers who won the regular season championship and then ended up winning the playoffs championship happened in the Gen 6 car before we moved to the next gen car. All 3 winners of the regular season have not won the championship in the Gen 7. Alright, enough's enough. Let's start talking about the 2025 season. So first, I wanted to look at the points leader progression throughout the season. Ryan Blaney led the points for the first 2 weeks after a good run in the Daytona 500 and his duel. Daytona 500 winner William Byron quickly took over after the 3rd race of the season and led all the way until race number 12 at Kansas. Larson only leading the points for 1 week. Of course, the next race was at Charlotte. He ended up spinning himself out of the lead early in that race. William Byron retook the points lead there and held it until just 2 races ago, where he gave it up to Chase Elliott, who is the current points leader. So 4 different drivers have led the points through the first 22 races this season. Let's go to the line and look at the 4 drivers who are competing for the regular season championship. First up, we have Chase Elliott, the points leader, 726 points through 22 races, 1 win, 7 top 5s, and 12 top 10s. The 9 car has been very, very consistent this season. On the right hand side here, I have the best result at the 4 upcoming tracks, but since this is not just about results, it's about points, I also put how many points they earned in their best race there. Last year at Iowa, Chase Elliott finishing 3rd, getting 44 points. A best finish of 4th at Watkins Glen, earning him 40 points there. Richmond, top 5 finish, 36 points. Daytona, 4th, 37 points. So Elliott has a top 5 in the next gen car at all 4 tracks coming up here. Elliott's looking good to win the regular season championship, but he's got some pretty good competition coming up behind him. In 2nd place, just 4 points back, his teammate William Byron, very similar stat line, 1 win, that was the Daytona 500, 7 top 5s and 11 top 10s. But when you look at his finishes on the right, better than Chase Elliott's 2 wins, a worse finish of 3rd at these tracks coming up in the next gen car. Iowa finished 2nd last year, 42 points. Watkins Glen was 1 point away from a perfect race there, finished 2nd in stage 1, won stage 2 and the race. 3rd place run at Richmond for 43 points. 2 wins in the next gen car at Daytona, of course winning the final 2 Daytona 500s, earning 54 points in his best run there. When you look at the numbers, William Byron is going to be hard to beat here. Byron has had a bit of a summer slump, but if he can get out of that, no reason why he can't win this regular season championship. Like I said, a couple of very good tracks coming up for the 24 car. He is going to be in the hunt for sure. 3rd on this list, another Hendrick car, Kyle Larson, 15 points back, 3rd in points. Better stat line than his 2 teammates though. 3 wins, better than both of those guys, 11 top 5s and 14 top 10s through 22 races. 5 car has been very, very good this year. Wrecked out at Iowa last year, but was up front in both stages, getting a lot of stage points, so if he can convert that to a finish this year, he's going to be in good shape. Wins at Watkins Glen and Richmond, 43 points, his best run at Watkins Glen, 52 at Richmond. And we all know Kyle Larson has had terrible luck at the drafting style tracks, a best finish of 11th has not gotten in the top 10 at Daytona in the next-gen car. 37 points, though, in his best run there, so a lot of good stage points. He was up front, just didn't get the finish. Honestly, I think that's what it's going to come down to, the 5 car. If he can get himself into a good spot going into Daytona, he might be able to win it, but that's going to be the big wild card for the 5 team here. The 4th and final driver here, the one I'm the most excited to talk about, Denny Hamlin, 20 points back, 4th in points. He has 4 wins on the season, leading the series this year, 11 top 5s and 12 top 10s. But do you guys remember Mexico? Denny Hamlin did not race there due to the birth of his child, so this has only been in 21 races compared to 22. He actually has a higher average points per race, 33.6 compared to Chase Elliott's 33, but that is only 2 points over the course of the next 4 races. Is that going to be enough for him to beat Chase Elliott? I don't know. Finished mid-pack in Iowa last year, 24th position, 2nd place at Watkins Glen, 1st at Richmond, 52 points there, as well as 52 points at Watkins Glen. Has not had a good run at Daytona yet in the next-gen car, but you can't count him out. He is a 3-time Daytona 500 winner, 17th his best run there, 22 points. The thing with how these guys have been running this year, all 4 of these guys could go on a stretch and take the points lead here, so this is going to be really competitive all the way down to the end. And I don't know if you've noticed it, we have talked about all 4 of these guys earlier in this video in different seasons, whether it was Hamlin, Elliott, William Byron leading the points at the end of 2023, Kyle Larson, of course, winning the regular season championship in 2021. All of these guys have been in this position before, competing for the regular season championship. They know how important it is to get these 15 playoff points. A few other general statistics I wanted to look at from these 4 drivers in the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series. First, I wanted to look at average finish. Chase Elliott, a 10.1 average finish. That leads the NASCAR Cup Series this year. Like I said, that 9 car finishes like 10th place every single race. Very, very consistent from the 9 car. Denny Hamlin with a 12.5 average finish. As I've mentioned, he is missing a race compared to the other guys on this list. 21 races for him versus 22 for the other guys. Kyle Larson just behind him with a 12.8 average finish. William Byron, a 14.8 average finish, so quite a bit off of Chase Elliott, almost 5 full positions, but you'll see why the 24 car is only 4 points behind the 9 in the standings. Part of that is due to these stage wins. Kyle Larson leads the series this year, 8 stage wins on the season. 1 behind him though, William Byron in the 24, so the 5 and 24 cars have been winning a lot of stages and capitalizing on those stage points. Denny Hamlin, 4 stage wins this season. Chase Elliott, just 1 stage win this year, so 5 and 24 have definitely been up front earlier in the race more than the 9 car. But how does the 9 car counteract that? Well, when you go to the DNF chart here, Chase Elliott does not have a DNF this season, the only driver in the NASCAR Cup Series that is full-time that does not have a DNF this season. Kyle Larson, 2 DNFs, 1 more than him. William Byron, 3 DNFs through 22 races. Denny Hamlin also has 3 DNFs, but you have to count the 1 DNS that he had at Mexico, so 4 races for Denny Hamlin on this chart. We talked about that average finish on William Byron. This may be why he is up there in points. 213 stage points are in this season. That is leading the NASCAR Cup Series. Kyle Larson about 50 behind him, 162. That is good for 3rd overall in the series. Denny Hamlin 2 points behind him, 4th overall. Chase Elliott, 6th in the series, only 136 stage points are in this year. That's like 70 points on the table right there that William Byron has gained on Chase Elliott in the beginning of these races. Of course, Elliott finishing better, Byron running better in the start of the races, getting those stage points. One other thing that I thought was very interesting when you look at the laps led this season, these guys sit in the top 4. Is there correlation to them being top 4 in the points? I don't know. I thought that was pretty interesting. Kyle Larson leading the series in laps led, 873. 2nd place, 2nd in points, William Byron, 796. Denny Hamlin, 555 on the season. Chase Elliott, the points leader, 374 laps led this season. So these guys have been up front, been running up front, and leading laps more than anyone in the NASCAR Cup Series. Going to be a great battle through these final 4 races. Honestly, I'm not going to make a pick because I don't know. I can see a case for any 4 of these guys winning the regular season championship. Thanks for watching.